I think languages are important because it opens a lot more doors than just speaking one language, because you can work in other countries. Because I want to do it for A-level, I want to do French for A-level because when I was speaking in the different schools, they always said that languages were really important, but it broadens your options, that you can go anywhere you want, and I just find that really fascinating. And just being able to speak more than one language is just really cool. I just find it really fascinating. I don't know why, but it just seems really fun.
The reason I chose history is because I'm really indulged in it, I really enjoy it, and I feel it kind of shapes the way we act today. I really enjoy political history and medical history because it's what I want to do when I'm older. Political issues, say the 1960s in America, were very important to me because it's what I want to do when I'm older. I feel with history it kind of shapes the way we are in the future as well. It also helps people, influence people today, and you can do a lot of jobs with history. You can be a lawyer, you can be a politician.
I picked engineering because of all the toolkits you can use. Like here I'm standing next to a pillar drill. So I'd recommend this because there's not a lot of engineers out there at the minute, and their pay is going up and up, and there's so many different roles you can play.
I chose product because it's a subject that I'm allowed to be creative in and use my imagination to create anything that I want. The school has many professional facilities that we can use that you cannot find in any other schools. Helps our skills for any jobs that we want.
I chose geography because, as opposed to other subjects that were on the option sheet, it's a bit more exciting. So, for example, you got a field trip to it was Whitstable we went to. We got to collect the information ourselves, and it's all part of our coursework, so it's all down to what we did, and it wasn't from some manufactured and false information.
The reason I took art is because since from a young age I've always been quite creative, and basically fine art has allowed me to adapt with that, and it's also taught me different techniques, such as different mark making techniques, different liner printing. Yeah, that's why I chose fine art.
In year 8, I didn't really know what options to pick, but I had a taste of all the different art subjects. So I chose photography because it's more digital and experimental, and since young I've always been really creative. So I like it because there's a lot of experimentation and there's just a range of things to do. It doesn't just vary from taking pictures, there's also artist researchers, and the artists that we learn about are always influential, and the work is always inspiring, and there's something behind it that just inspires you to do it.
Okay, in business you can study finance, marketing, e-commerce and sources of finance.
It's useful for if you're interested in setting up your own business, and it's if you want to own or run your own business, it's useful because you just learn about how to set it up, how to manage your finances.
In GCSE PE we have a range of different sports such as football, cricket, rugby, trampolining and many more. In addition to the practical, we have to cover theory.
The theory side covers a 2 exam-based course, each adding up to 60%, 30% each, a 10% piece of coursework and 30% on the practical.
So ethics is good if you want to go into law or psychology, and if that's the path you want to take, then ethics will help you. Universities consider ethics as a very useful subject for those jobs.
I picked ethics because I really enjoy debating and arguing my point. It was always helpful to be able to get your point across.
So I chose drama because I'm really passionate about the subject. I think it's a really good way to sort of express yourself, and if you're a more shy student it makes sense because you don't really have to be yourself, you can become another character, so then it makes you come out of your shell more. The sort of jobs that I'm looking forward to doing in the future, hopefully, is to do acting in theatres. And in drama lessons here, they teach us how to do lighting and sound and all of the tech work, which is also vital to the performances.
I chose art graphics, and we do a collection of photography, drawings and other mediums in our work, which is why I think it's one of the best art subjects to choose, because you get a combination of everything.
Well, I chose art graphics because I like working with computers, and where I loved art in year 7 and 8, but I was never the best at drawing. There's a lot more editing and a lot more Photoshop work, and you can edit your pieces, you can tweak them. If something went a little bit wrong in your drawing, you can always edit on a computer. That's why I chose art graphics.
I took music because I started playing guitar when I was younger, when I was 8, and I've always wanted to have like a sort of a career in music. And I'm going to college next year.
I think music is a good subject because you get a variety of instruments. You can use anything like the guitars, the piano, the drums. We get to use Logic Pro, which is on the Macs, which is a really good device, like software. And like we got the MIDI keyboard, so we could play the piano and use that for our composition.
I chose GCSE Media because we were the first year to actually study it, and it was one of the few lessons where we were actually allowed to kind of be creative. After GCSE Media, you can then take it on to A-level, which is what I'm doing. There's a wide range of areas that you can go into the media after A-level, whether it's from TV to radio to film, advertising or magazines.